Way back to you with Burnin' Love Inside. Also on this date, in 2012, we lost American singer and songwriter Scott McKenzie, who died aged 73. He was best known for his 1967 hit single and generational anthem, San Francisco, Be Sure to Wear Flowers in Your Hair. He also joined a new version of the Mamas and the Papas and co-wrote Kokomo. On this date, 2020, just last year, we lost Jack Sherman, who died at age 64 of a heart attack in his home in Savannah, Georgia. He's best known as the second guitarist to have joined the Red Hot Chili Peppers in between Hillel Slovak's departure and return. On this date, 1952, we lost actor, singer, born on this day, rather. We move on to birthdays. Happy birthday, born on this date, 1952, actor, singer, Patrick Swayze. And born on this date, 1953, Marvin Isley from the American group, the Isley Brothers. There's an Isley Brothers tune for all occasions. Born this date, 1967, Dan Peters, drummer with Mudhoney. And born on this date, 1969, Eric Schrody, rapper and singer-songwriter with House of Pain. Born on this date also, 1971, Richard James Aphex Twin. Happy birthday all around. Moving on to this day in music history. On August 18th, 1992, Kurt Cobain became a father when his wife, Courtney Love, gave birth to a daughter, Frances Bean Cobain. On this date, 2006, Justin Hawkins, the lead singer of The Darkness, checked himself into the Priory Rehabilitation Clinic, suffering from exhaustion after 3 years of nonstop work. And on this 2006, U.S. filmmaker Adam Musiewicz set up ElvisWanted.com as part of a documentary exploring the myth that the singer was still alive, and offered a $3 million or 1.59 million pound reward for anyone who could find Elvis Presley alive. So keep in mind that if you're hunting for Elvis Presley, you're not alone. Many people believe Elvis is still alive and still out there. That's it for this day in music history. Back over to you, Peter.
Right on. All right, let's see if we can get this working. The video's all over the place. And here's another. We haven't had a day that like everything was just a technical mess in quite some time. So we were due for one. I actually, with this Clubhouse update, is right now is saying, enjoying the conversation. Would you like to join Music Industry City? I'm the admin and the creator of the group, and it's asking me if I want to join my own club. So this is where we're at today. We're going to see if we can get through this one. All right, to set the stage for the conversation, we bring you summaries and commentary on the latest headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, request to join the stage, and also say hi to everybody on our video live stream, which you can check out on YouTube or right at musicindustrycity.com. You'll see if you see the graphic there, it says, hey, right here, video will be live. You can press that button and see what's happening back here. To stay updated on this and all other programming, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for more news, articles, and events. Now let's get to it. I'm about to press the music button here. I hope this works. So, all right. And this first piece is from Billboard.com. To access all the articles and the headlines that we cover in today's news, you can go to musicindustrycity.com and click on the Music News at Noon post with today's headline. And guess what? I just had another technical glitch. My phone stopped streaming this. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to click this back. And this one is from Billboard saying that Downtown Music Holdings names new CEO Justin Cliffowitz to executive director. So Downtown, which has been doing great job on the acquisition sprees for over a few years. It's the parent company of CD Baby, Fuga, Song Trust, Downtown Neighboring Rights, and others, is changing its executive leadership team. Founder and CEO Justin Cliffowitz will become an executive director, while longstanding general counsel and COO Andrew Bergman will become the CEO. These are going in effect on September 1st. A little background here. Downtown was founded in 2007 as a music publisher, which Cliffowitz exited in April when it sold its 145,000 song inventory to Concord for $350 million. In his new role as executive chairman, Cliffowitz will be focused on, quote, driving strategic direction. Bergman joined Downtown in 2000 as outside legal counsel, then in 2008 as general counsel and executive VIP before being named COO in 2014. And he's been directing Downtown's mergers and acquisition strategy, which has seen the firm acquire AVL Digital Group in 2019, which houses CD Baby, AdRev, and Sounddrop, and digital distributor Fuga in 2020, among others. Great to see. Justin's really, I really like Justin, smart guy, and he's got big plans. So great to see what's going on here. All right, let's talk about more from Billboard. And this one is Logitech and Billboard debut Songbreaker chart, the first ever creator-centered music chart. This is really interesting. The Songbreaker chart is a music industry standard ranking of creators who are increasing music consumption through content production. In recognition of their involvement in helping songs reach the coveted Billboard charts through memes and dance challenges originating or pushed on social media by artists, this new monthly chart is the first of its kind. And as stated by Meredith Rojas, the global head of entertainment and creator marketing at Logitech for Creators, quote, the Songbreaker chart is the music industry recognizing creators as pop culture powerhouses and celebrating TikTokers who propel songs into the music charts with dance challenges and creators who encourage their large audiences to join them in a trend. The Billboard Songbreaker chart will be released every second Tuesday of the month and starting today. Starting yesterday, that would be. The chart ranks the top creators on social media platforms, including TikTok and YouTube, who amplify music and music-based trends that often result in their success on charts such as the Billboard Hot 100. And in the article in Billboard, you can see who the creators are that made it to this list. I think it's really interesting way because, I mean, we hear so much about how music's breaking through TikTok and also with Instagram, like, copying TikTok. But like the whole thing about music and being able to share and search and start by trends, and Rich really amplifies that up. And we've seen, the announcements of, distribution companies going direct to TikTok. So there is a lot, that I think it's really interesting to see how this becomes another data point of analysis of like who started a trend. It's like who started the hashtag, who started the trend. It's almost kind of like what Next Big Sound was originally doing. Well, actually not originally doing this is what they were morphing into was where was the ignition point? And that's when Next Big Sound was also brought into Pandora. So then Pandora used that technology to help define, for their algorithms and everything. So this is really interesting. I want to be following this one. All right, from Complete Music Update, the SPAC that tried to buy 10% of Universal Music sued for not being a proper SPAC. So a shareholder has sued the SPAC that tried to buy 10% of Universal Music, claiming it is a disguised investment firm that should be subject to further regulation. The Bill Ackman-led Pershing Square Content Holdings announced in June that it will buy 10% of Universal Music from Vivendi. SPACs, sometimes known as blank check companies, are non-operating firms that raise funds from investors to buy a privately held company outright. So the purchase company obtains a backdoor stock market listing without having to go through the arduous process of an IPO. Sometimes kind of considered like, a reverse IPO. So, but in Ackman's SPAC deal, Pershing Square Holdings simply bought 10% of a firm poised to go public on another exchange. So the investors and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission expressed concern about the SPAC setup. Thus, Ackman abandoned the project and instead purchased 7.1% of Universal through other investment entities that he owns. So if you saw this in the news, it was like, a few months ago, it was like, oh, to buy, rumor, then he was buying, it's going through, letter of intent, and then it's like, well, he's not buying. And then the next day it was like, well, no, he is buying, but it's buying in a different way. According to the current lawsuit, Pershing Square is being handled as more normal investment company rather than a vehicle to acquire a privately held corporation completely. If Pershing Square was an investment firm, it would be subject to more scrutiny, particularly over the fees it pays to advisors, which includes another Ackman-controlled firms. Goes on saying it's an intriguing case, not least because it may shine a light on SPACs in general and how they are used by investors and regulated by the SEC. But Ackman also maintains that Pershing Square has never owned investment securities, making an investment business under U.S. law and so susceptible to further oversight. He told Bloomberg, "We believe this litigation is totally without merit." This is interesting because SPACs are supposed to be, non-operational. It's not supposed to be really conducting any kind of business in a sense, to put it in the simplest terms. And what we've heard SPACs in the last 6-8 months really coming to the forefront. This is something that, only like maybe tens of SPACs were formed per year. And maybe I think it was somewhere like 2 years ago, there was 80 just in the past year, there were 290, over 290. So this is a new way of looking at investments and acquiring companies and being able to do reverse IPOs. And I'm sure the SEC, as in this case, is going to be taking a deeper look into something like this.
Yeah, Peter, I just want to jump in here. If anyone's familiar with the Netflix special "Dirty Money," the series, Bill Ackman is all over it. He had a company called Valiant that also tried to do very similar loopholing with regard to his hedge fund investment companies and various other companies, just sort of burying them under new companies that are acquiring entities such as this. And this somebody just must have tipped him off that SPACs are a new way to try to take control of large groups of assets without having to do much work, which sounds right up his street. So yeah, if you guys are fans of that series, it's definitely one to view, and you'll get the full scope of what Bill Ackman does typically.
Right on. And I'm sure anything he's done's just come with a fine and a slap on the wrist.
You know it.
Yep. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about money. And this one is from Musical.ly. Music Ally. Report claims piracy sites generate 1.3 billion a year from ads. And so this is the really interesting thing about, when people talk about piracy and they're like, oh, well, it's just a song here, it's a song there. It's like, yeah, but the thing is, it's not necessarily about that. It's the money they are making on the backs of, illegal copyrights and streaming and swapping and everything like that. And this comes from the Digital Citizens Alliance, and they released a research on the issue of advertising on pirate sites. And the report claims, quote, the bad actors who operate in the illegal underground market for pirated movies, TV shows, and other forms of content that are reaping in an estimated $1.34 billion in annual revenues through advertising on websites and illicit streaming apps, which breaks down to a little over $1 billion of ad revenues for websites and $259 million for apps, with the most popular examples in those categories averaging $18.3 million and $26.7 million of annual ad revenues, respectively, according to the report's calculations. So the report also claims that Amazon, Facebook, and Google account for 73% of all major brand adverts within piracy apps. Just as huge tech companies have tried to ban their adverts showing on privacy websites, they should do the same for apps. So this is, again, it's not necessarily that they don't even care about, any kind of money on the swapping and copyright and all that and pirating. It's about the money they can make just by ads. I mean, that's a lot. And with that being said, let's check in with Eli.
All right. Thanks, Peter. Let's check in with me. And we'd like for you to check in with your friends as well. So feel free to invite your friends to the show. They can participate in the conversation the same as you by requesting to come to the stage or by commenting in the chat if you're watching on our video live stream. And hi to our viewers. Make sure that you join the club and follow your co-hosts. And you can also watch the video live stream right from our website and access other content and articles, including our weekday 3-minute Music News podcast, which keeps you up to date on items that may not be covered here in the Music News at Noon, such as new releases, tours, musical chairs, business and tech news, all in 3 minutes or less. We'd like to thank you again for tuning in to the Music News at Noon from New York. It is live every weekday at 12 p.m., Monday through Thursday. Now let's continue with our headlines. We see Foundation.fm Records partners with the ADA to, quote unquote, make change and champion female talent. With more on this headline, we go to our UK correspondent, Angela Randall. Angela?
Thanks, Eli. All new albums from Foundation.fm, known as FFM Records, will be distributed by Warner Music's UK Alternative Distribution Alliance, ADA, in a new partnership. FFM Records, founded in May, is a spin-off of Foundation FM, an independent community radio station founded in 2018 by Becky Richardson and Frankie Wells to promote female talent in the underground music scene. The record label, overseen by Richardson and A&R label coordinator Danielle Marshall, has signed Swiss-based artist and producer Malima, whose electronic pop EP 321 was released last month, as well as London-based duet Lavender and modern R&B and alternative hip-hop artist Denisha. Becky Richardson, co-founder FFM Records, said, quote, when we started Foundation.fm in 2018, the record label was one of our long-term goals. So to be launching it just 3 years later really is a dream come true. We are incredibly thankful to Sam, Tony, and the whole team at UROK and Warner Music for their belief in us and FFM. Tony Harlow, CEO, Warner Music UK, said, quote, Foundation.fm Records is an important startup organization in a musical world where more than half of music fans are women, but female representation in the higher ranks of the industry continues to be far lower. This partnership, brought to us by Sam, will not only allow us to introduce the world to distinctive, authentic, and fresh new musical talent, but it will allow us to further our commitment to championing diverse voices. I'm looking forward to working with Becky and the team who are working hard to make the industry a better, more equitable place. End quote. Yeah, we've been doing our best to report on all of the equality efforts that have been made in the industry over the last year, including those affecting diversity and among race and sexual orientation, but now also, of course, gender. And another step in the right direction, of course, the UK is starting to position itself as one of the leaders in trying to make the industry a better, more equitable place, as Tony Harlow has so eloquently stated. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on more from these, but in the meantime, I suggest maybe checking out those artists. Again, 321 was Mylima's release, Lavender, and R&B and alternative hip hop artist Denaisha, spelled Denaisha. Check on the website, the Music Industry Study website, to get the link to the article so you can find the spellings and find those artists later. But why not support them? It's a great thing. Back to you guys.
Right on. And this also ties in, going back with the festivals and, the organizations and, their dedication to having more female performers on stage. But they were also coming across challenges with that.
Yeah, I remember actually this time last year we were having these conversations pretty frequently about just that sort of thing happening, and now that it's really started to take root, we're seeing the big guys, as in Warner Music and some of the larger record labels and industry organizations, championing these smaller groups. And like she said, they founded it in 2018, and 3 years later, it's getting quite a boost. So it's good to see that happen.
Right on. Awesome. Great to see. All right. This one, we're going to stay over in Europe just for a little bit longer. And this is from IQ Mag. And this is title is Unvaxxed Cast Out to Sea as Latvia Festival Returns. And that's not really metaphorically. That is something that is happening. And on Sunday, August 15th, Dagamba, the popular Latvian brand behind the event, Laiva, welcomed 5,000 guests for another day of music on the shores and waters of Jugla Lake. Laiva, which is Latvian for on a boat, as well as a play on the English word live, is now in its second year. The bands played to a crowd of 5,000 people in kayaks, dinghies, and motor yachts, with 3,500 on the land and 1,500 on the sea. Festival goers could rent boats or bring their own, and due to the regulatory limitations in Latvia, only spectators fully vaccinated against COVID-19 were able to view the show from the lake shore. So the stage was on the beach. 2 bars floated on Jugla, and I thought this was awesome. What a great way to help with social distancing, and people can still see the show. And I mean, hanging out on a boat. But so this is their second year. They did this last year before the coronavirus vaccine was available. 1,500 people attended the socially separated launch event, and one of the people who was saying in the kayak was saying, this is simply a brilliant idea for how to hold a festival and ensure social distancing for the unvaccinated at the same time. And at the time of publication, just 726,000 Latvians have received full COVID-19 vaccination, which is one of the lowest rates in the EU. And the Prime Minister says unvaccinated people are likely to have more and more restrictions, particularly on freedom of assembly. So it's going to be interesting. This is all across the board. This is not just in the U.S. that we're seeing this. It is, if you're not shot, if you're not getting the double shot or, getting your vaccination, you're not going to be allowed to go out and, attend events. And, some people are up in uproar about it. Some people are still uproaring about just wearing a mask. So please be safe. Please be responsible. All right. This one is from, let's talk about some tech here. And this one is from Hypebeast. Okay. And so this is a video streaming app called Drop TV, which lets fans shop inside music videos. And Drop TV is the latest shoppable video streaming platform, which raised $15 million in its Series A fundraising round. The app allows users to buy items from popular music videos, eliminating the need to guess and Google an artist's aesthetic. With Drop TV, you can look like your favorite musician in no time. Users may shop inside any music video on the app, gaining access to the clothes and products featured in the content. It's as simple as seeing it, wanting it, and getting it. For example, fans who want to wear the same canvas Nike Air Force Ones as A$AP Ty or any other featured product in his Who Ain't With Me music video can do it in a single click using the app's patented technology. Drop TV will also engage with artists and brands to create exclusive products such as limited edition works. And it goes on to say, gives artists a space to communicate directly with their fans and deliver an exclusive purchasing experience while listening to their music without ads or overlays. And I guess this ships in the new era of shop-attainment is going to be, I guess, the new buzzword here. And you can find it on iOS and Android. I mean, this is something I know, Amazon Prime has had some things like that where you can click and find out when you're in a scene, here's the actors, you can find out more information about them. And, this is really neat. It's it's going to be a new era of product placements. So, Coca-Cola is going to get all over this or something hey, there's that Coke bottle in the background. And, just click on that and go order a 6-pack of Coke. But, clothing, I think this is really cool. I like this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Peter. I can't tell you how many times I've been watching a program and saw somebody with a gorgeous coat. I think what comes to mind is a Dua Lipa performance during the Brits. It was one of the most Googleable items of clothing, uh, and Twitter was all a buzz about it from the most recent Brits. But yeah, if there was some sort of technology to be able to simply click on it or scan it or I don't know who knows what, and have it come up with the location to purchase it, I know I'd be onto that for sure. So I hope this goes forward.
All right. Yep. All right. Let's talk about some NFTs here for a moment. And this is a new company, Serenade. And this one, they say, aims to simplify and demystify the NFT sector for artists and fans. Well, wouldn't that be great to simplify things to make it easier and more accessible and understandable? Because you want to make sure you know what you're getting into when you're minting an NFT and when you're purchasing an NFT. And the article, this one is from Independent Music Insider, and this one is, in order to make NFTs more accessible and inexpensive for artists and their fans, Serenade has announced the development of a pioneering new artist fan-centric platform. And it's it's also environmentally friendly, like they want to say. So it's green. The green platform uses a proof of stake authentication method that is far more efficient than the direct Ethereum proof of work approach, and eliminates expensive gas fees, which can be a major barrier to entry for anyone wanting to create affordable NFTs. Purchases are made with a credit or debit card by their checkout facility that has been designed to function like a standard e-commerce cart, and where the creation of digital wallet and the transfer of traditional payments into cryptocurrency is handled directly by the platform. And now that's really a great thing, because so many of these NFT platforms are oh, I have to get a MetaMask, or I have to get a wallet here. How do I transfer? I have to convert it to Ethereum. All that stuff. So to keep it inside makes it a little easier. And they talk about what the fans can join a community where they can create a profile, share content, and buy digital memorabilia without knowing anything about NFT technology. Yes, that's great. You can do all that. Make sure you know what you're getting into, though. Just because it says you don't need to know what you're doing, anything about the technology, you should still know what you're getting into. Please do your research. Serenade was, just going on in the background here, was found by an Australian tech entrepreneur and music aficionado, Max Shan, to help artists connect with fans while generating new revenue streams. Fans buy digital collectibles, NFTs, which may be collected and resold, with artists receiving a percentage of the proceeds each time. And that's one of the things I do really love about the NFTs and the smart contracts and being on the chain, is that anytime it's resold through that marketplace, it goes back. You can set a percentage that goes back to the resale. So Angela, like we were talking for the last few days about the UK and ticket touting, secondary markets. The artists, when it goes up on StubHub, the artists aren't making the money back on that resale.
No, and I think that's why, like I mentioned, Ed Sheeran championed Twickets, because he figures, look, if I can't get the money back and I'm the one actually putting in the work to do the performance, I might as well give fans my stamp of approval on something that just helps them exchange tickets without making somebody else a whole shed load of money in the process.
Right on. All right. And this one is, we're going to do one more quick one on NFTs. And this one is Record Shop, which is spelled RCRDSHP. Basically, just don't, they don't like vowels, I guess. All right, Record Shop is the new platform for electronic music fans. CEO Obi Fernandez says the key differentiator between us and others is that our heart is in the right place with the music and the people who make it. We are all serious DJs and music producers here and want to give our fellow musicians more sustainable ways to make a living via new and exciting technologies. Record Shop collectibles are more than crypto glorified MP3s or digital trading cards. It's not another NFT auction or fixed price marketplace. Each limited edition collectible encapsulates a unique aspect of an artist, label, or festival brand's musical worlds, a legendary video moment in front of a crowd or backstage or in the studio, covered exclusive, a track that's never been heard, or work-inspiring visual art that takes the fan deeper into that artist's creative universe. Its content may be bought, sold, listened to, or viewed, and even mixed using game mechanics to unlock interesting new premium collectibles and in real-life experiences. They have packs and collectibles which exist in a variety of sizes and rarities, and many being affordable to the vast majority of fans. So in short, it's really like a game, a marketplace, and a communal space all rolled into one. The gaming, I like this gaming where it's like, maybe you can do like track stems, and you can do remixes through the NFTs and stuff like that. So that might be really kind of like really interesting to what can be accomplished.
I'm going to scan the article, Peter, but the missing vowels reminded me of the music community, RCRD LBL. I don't know if anybody remembers that from years back. It was kind of a music community that allowed the free sort of sharing of MP3s that were free, a kind of a white label site so that you could listen to their radio online. So hopefully, potentially, this may be sort of an offshoot from that, or maybe it was just inspired for the new name. But it was a really cool community, and maybe now this is a new way for them to re-engage that community. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on this as well.
All right, on. All right, thanks. Yeah, keep an eye on. Give us an update. All right, two more. Just one more. Reddit iOS app now includes a TikTok-style video feed because why not? Because what's another platform without another TikTok or Instagram like Eli, hold on a second. What are you doing there, Eli? You're
I'm counting off on my fingers all the platforms that are copying each other and just copying each other back, and it's quite an extensive list over here. Sorry you caught me counting in the off-camera feed, but I was just doing a little tally. We got a lot of copycatting happening here.
You have a lot of hands to do all that counting. As anybody on a video feed just saw that, I was just like, sorry about that. I had to get back to it. It was really all right. So the company told TechCrunch that an iOS app area will soon have a TikTok-like video feed, which you just tap the button to see a swipeable video collection from your subscribed subreddits and associated communities. You can still upvote, downvote, comment, and award. Basic version of the experience was available before, but only if you tapped on a video, and the first videos you would see would come from the subreddit. The new Smart tab is to bring community through video, according to a Reddit spokesperson, and that means creating a unified experience that matches what you expect from app-based video players. Reddit didn't say when all iOS users could expect the feed or when you'd seen an Android version yet. This isn't a surprise. Reddit has experimented with live streaming in 2019 and bought Dubsmash in December of 2020, and which, while the company's code isn't used for the latest feed, the acquisition demonstrates Reddit's desire to stay relevant in the era of video. And remember, Dubsmash was probably at the time the bigger TikTok competitor. So right now, it's the videos may not be a focus, but you got to have it, is what they're pretty much saying. With that being said, let's head over to Eli for the best segment of this section.
The best segment of the section. All right. That is the big green dot, and it does hit the spot. It is time for today's Spotify spot. This is where we're going to take a look at the latest updates from the streaming service. But before we do that, we do want to check in with your weather. Storms are rolling in, and many of our listeners report that there are riders on the storms. So do beware. Over to you now, Peter, for the Spotify spot.
Are they riding horses? What are they riding?
The storms themselves. Yeah,
Oh,
it's quite dangerous.
they're
Quite a
riding the storms.
phenomenon. Yeah,
Okay.
quite a weather phenomenon. Yeah.
All right. I feel like I'm in a technology storm right now. There's a hurricane going on with all the video stuff going on. If anybody's watching the video, I know in Clubhouse, I'm going to try to explain. It's like the watching the video, all the scenes just keep moving. Like I hit a button and it's like this is supposed to be the scene, and for some reason, it's basically like I think somebody's like hacked into the back and is changing the scenes for fun. It's like so there was that hidden light switch in the other side of the room, and it's like why the lights keep on going off, and you find out it was your little 4-year-old brother, just turning on the hidden light switch. Well, with that,
little gremlin somewhere in the technology.
yeah, there's something going on. It's hard for me to keep up with it. So let's try to make it through the last segment here. This one is Gen Z is embracing the art of niche Spotify playlists. This is really interesting, and I encourage you to go check out the article. And it's from a website called studybreaks.com, but you can go to musicindustrycity.com, click on the today's Music News at Noon post. You can find the headline because and this way you can follow some of the people that are discussed in here. So what it's saying is like currently like extremely niche Spotify playlists are like the hot items. Many of these are acquiring popularity on TikTok, where users produce the videos to romanticize a playlist tone. So there are playlists about being in a relationship with fictional characters, like, dating Sirius Black in relationship to, in reference to, Harry Potter. Others attempt to capture a unique moment, like having one called running through an open field in a pretty dress and running through a castle in a soaking wet dress during war. So these are the names of the playlist. I'm getting a kick out of this. I love the creativity about this. Some create a narrative of their own. One is called Trapped in a Horror Movie, but I can't tell if I'm the victim or the killer. And, that places listeners directly in a stereotypical fictional scenario. And then there's another one, Taylor Swift songs, but in the order of a love story. So, I'm loving these things. It reminds me of tag groups. If anybody got into tag groups, it's like, somebody's like, lost in the mountains, like, and somebody just creates a tag group, like, sounds like a search and rescue call is about to happen. It started on Reddit and Facebook groups, and it was, the tag groups, if you were in there, you just went down the rabbit hole. Anyway, the other one, there's a popular Twitter account called Weird Spotify Playlists, which shines a light on especially strange titles like Songs for When I'm Eating Gemstones in the Museum Gift Shop or How to Order a Pizza. And they're talking about making these new super narrow Spotify playlists involve, choosing a topic. So it's like really thought out. That's what I like about this. It's really thought out. It's like creating those old mixtapes, but with a theme as the title. So first choose a topic, then you have to put together the song list from a variety of artists, and then you add a quote or other relevant words can be included in the description, and then you can create the cover art with customized photos, and then you're creating these really unique story playlists. And so which really now is going back to what Spotify originally tried to be, was a social media site. Originally, Spotify, when it rolled out with that whole connection to Facebook and having your profile attached, and then you had it was originally trying to be social sharing and community building through music. And so basically, users would create their own feeds, follow each other, assign likes, and instead of selling words or images, Spotify's commodifies sound, which engages the users in the creative process. So I mean, check it out, something, because they talk about in the article, they actually have the links to some of the artists or their TikTok accounts and everything. I think this is a lot of fun. I'm going to start coming up with some really interesting playlists. But that being said, though, announcement is we just posted today in Music Industry City, we just posted the August playlist. So we update it every week, and we publish the August playlist where you can find it on Spotify, but you can also go to musicindustrycity.com. It's on the main page. It's also in the Music Hall. And this is built from Clubhouse. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, this room, everybody comes in and just does artist shout outs. Like, hey, shout out an artist. Like, you're hanging out with friends. You got to check out this artist. We then take those artists and then we create a playlist and we push it up there. And so we publish it based on what everybody's shouting on Clubhouse. So check it out. It's at musicindustrycity.com, or if you're on Spotify, look for the Music Industry City profile. If you feel like it, give it a heart. Give the profile a like or follow or whatever it's called in where the big next to the big green dot. And you'll be updated for everything else there. And that's it for the reads.
I absolutely love this whole Spotify weird playlists. It reminds me of. It feels like it's been inspired by Panic at the Disco song titles or Fall Out Boy song titles. You know, they were always like 10 or 13 words long, and you kind of had to abbreviate them. So I'm gonna make a playlist that has a very long name, or maybe just one of those really long words will be the name, like anti disestablishmentarianism playlist. There you go.
Oh, what is it? What was the Pink Floyd one? It was a cat, something of a pit full of animals gathered together, a room full of animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pict or something from Ummagumma. It was,
Yes, from Ummagumma. Yeah, of course.
Now, I'm totally like disappointed in myself that I can't remember what the title is, and I have to look this one up. All right.
And while Peter is looking that up, I want to remind you that if you'd like to offer up your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to join the stage, or you can post something in the chat. And remember, you can find all of today's headlines at musicindustrycity.com. And now back to Peter. Did you find it?
Several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pict. Got it. Nailed it.
Say that 3 times fast. Why don't you?
Maybe we should make a Music Industry City collaborative playlist with that title and see if we get featured.
There you go.
Say with that, maybe we should change the title of the show to that. You know, just that sounds like fun, right? Could be fun. Reminder that you can share your final thoughts with us as well. Angela, I wanted to check in with you and see if there's anything that stuck out for you today.
Yeah, I feel like we're being a bit of a watchdog lately, but that Bill Ackman thing really gets under my fingernails. I'm gonna keep an eye and set an alert, so I make sure that they follow along with him and do what's done to make sure that SPAC doesn't go where they fear it's going. So, and of course we'll keep you posted in this room about it as well. And woohoo to female empowerment. Well done.
You just say set an alert, because you could also set the controls for the heart of the sun.
I'm on it.
Another Pink Floyd. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm punchy after getting through this with all the technical nonsense that we just got. We're lucky, we're still here. Okay, and it still says ask me to join my own. Clubhouse is still saying and I've already said yes. I would like to join my own club, and it popped up again. Says, are you enjoying the conversation? Join Music Industry City, and I'm like, well, considering I created the club, so happy, as Eli said, happy Clubhouse Update Day.
Yeah, you know what? I wish that button at the bottom of the conversation, instead of saying "Join Music Industry City," I wish it said, "Is the update working for you? Yes or no?" So they could get a little bit of feedback. There is a new update on Clubhouse today, so thank you for bearing with us on these glitches today. We hope that your Clubhouse experience is working out well today. And as we wrap up, I would like to thank you for joining us today for the Music News at Noon. We hope you'll join us here each and every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. You can visit our website to stay up to date on all the current happenings in the music industry, join the community, and access other amazing resources. That's musicindustrycity.com. My name is Eli Window, and on behalf of our UK correspondent, Angela Randall, I just want to thank you all so much for being part of our broadcast today. And now I want to throw over to my co-host, Peter Schwing. Peter, your final thoughts today. We've covered a lot, we've been through a lot, and you've had a minute to decompress with all the mulligans and the technology and the gremlins and the machines. Your final thoughts for us as we wrap today.
My final thoughts is I'm just going to go back to bed. I'm done.
And there you have it.
All right.
We should all go back to bed. Mulligan.
Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. Let's just get it over with and wrap this. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us through this day. We haven't had a good technical difficulty day, so it's we get one every now and then. Keeps us on our toes. So everyone, have an awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one.
Cheerio.
Cheerio, Angela, and cheerio, everyone. It's great to see you. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day today.